Hey, it's been a couple of weeks. Welcome back. So I thought in this episode I'd go ahead and we get the bed off of this truck, but before we do that, I had to get the garage situated better so I could move everything around in here easier. So I did a bunch of cleanup and some reorganization. So let me give you a quick tour of the garage real quick and show you what it was we did to make some space in here. Hey Maggie, sit. Oh, that's a good girl. Alright, so here we are out in the shop again, and as you can see, I have cleared out some space and we have room to operate. I still need to sell this hood and figure out where to put it in the meantime, because it is totally in the way. And then I got to clean off the rest of the table. But other than that, and straighten it up, that shelf unit and that bucket unit, the garage is pretty well organized now. So yeah, so we got plenty of room to get around the frame. I have to move it over to this side of the garage instead of putting it in the middle because I have to get the mower in here and park it. Plus, by having it this far over, I have enough room in here to set the cab next to it if I wanted to. And as you can see, the bed's back there. So yeah, we got the bed off the truck. I got footage of that. The problem is now I have an issue with over half, probably about 80% of the footage I shot pulling this bed off. Computer doesn't recognize it. It's like once it gets to a certain size or something, the computer, the editing software, nothing knows what to do with it, and it's completely useless. So I only have a little bit of footage of taking the bed off. I don't have footage of removing any of the bolts or fasteners or loosening up the bumper, any of that stuff. That all got lost. But at least I have the footage of lifting the bed off the frame. So check this out, and I'll talk to you when we get back. I gotta shear that off. Hey, that's more like it. Alright. Now we can find all our wiring harnesses that we need to undo and that sort of thing. I'm just going to clip that wire. Alright. Looks like one clip may be the end of the wiring. So let's take that part off. There we go. That should be it holding the bed. Wiring wise, just the tail lights. Everything else should be attached to the frame. Yep, something's holding on the corner here. Let's see what she is. Oh, I suppose that matters. It's the spare tire tube. I forgot about the spare tire tube. just fell off on its own. All right. Let's try this again. Yeah, it's just not balanced well. All right. Trying to scrape up the cab as it comes up because I didn't get it balanced. So I'm just going to stick these in there until she's loose. All right, I forgot one ground wire. Should say I missed a ground wire, so let's just see it today. All right, people, the bed's kind of off. Sorry, but I gotta move you. Okay, point here is I'm trying to tip it up. I should put it where you can actually see what's going on back there, huh? Alright, that's not terrible. So I'm going to keep jacking it. Apparently, they need to come this way more. Side of this bed its whole life. I'm going to flip it around the other way against the wall so I can see the bottom real good. Alright, so a few videos ago, you'll remember the goal for the truck was keep it budget, work with what we've got, try not to spend a ton of money on it, may or may not get a V8. We just want it low, cruiser, you know, boulevard cruiser, you know, what's the best way to refer to that? There's a name for it actually. Cruise night cruiser, right? A cruise night muscle car kind of situation. So what's happened between then and now is the No Name Nationals. I registered for the No Names Nationals and committed to going. According to what I've been seeing on their live streams, there are very few people who plan on bringing show cars. There's only a couple of us, you know, and when I say a show car, I just mean I'm bringing a car to show, not necessarily a show car. It got me thinking. Is that really what I want to build, for starters? Two, one of the large reasons I was doing it is because I wanted to stay true to the build. It started out as a budget build where I was just cleaning it up, making it a little better, a little better, a little better, showing, you know, how you can just make a truck a little better without spending a bunch of money. And I don't have a lot of money into the truck right now. So now what's changed is I also got to thinking about that whole, if you remember me talking about, this is not one of my bucket list cars, but I really want the challenge of doing something I haven't done. And so I think I'm decided what we're going to do with this truck. Now the reason you haven't seen a video for a couple of weeks is because I've been really thinking about what I want to do. Because once I make the first cut in this thing, there's no going back. Right now I haven't cut it. I could put it back stock if I had to. And believe me, that was one of my thoughts. Put it back stock, push it out in the yard for a while, and go find a $1,000 shell of something I cared more about. Okay, so once I decided I didn't want to do the budget build anymore, I said, well, what's the opposite extreme? What's if I just said, screw it, pulled out a credit card and built the truck I really wanted? And that ended up being, put the V8 behind the bed, or behind the cab. Still pointing in the normal front to back, you know, configuration. And then use a transaxle like out of a Porsche or a Mendiola off a sandrail or something like that in order to drive the rear wheels and have the engine facing normal instead of transverse, you know. And still build a snotty V8, stick it back there and have a mid-engine car. And then I could slam it, put some bigger tires on it front and back and make the thing actually kind of handle a little bit. Could be a lot of fun. Being mid-engine, it'd probably accelerate pretty well, probably go around corners halfway decent. and it's a long enough wheelbase on this truck, it might be fun to cruise. So that was my, like, if I had the money to do whatever I wanted to the truck, that's probably what I would do to this truck. But the transmission itself is about $7 grand plus accessories. Even if I get a deal on one, I still got to buy a clutch and I got to figure out the shifting mechanism, so that's going to end up costing some money. It's just a really expensive thing, and I almost feel like I could build a whole truck for that if I go another route. So I think after talking to my wife, talking about our budget situation, talking about the direction of the channel, the No Name Nationals coming up, and everything else, we have decided to basically do something I've wanted to do my whole life, even though this is not the truck I wanted to do it to, and that is put together a Pro Street car. Now, sounds silly, right? Because it's an 80s thing, but you know, there's reasons Pro Street died, and his name is Rick Dobberton. But anyway, I loved his cars, by the way. I still love Pro Street. So anyway, that brings something up, this announcement I was talking about, and it's not as much an announcement as just I'm throwing it out there and seeing what the reaction is. I've been going through a lot of thinking about what direction to go with this truck before arriving at the Pro Street finale, if you will. Because it could do anything I want with it. It's not one of my bucket list cars, so I don't have a preconceived notion of what it should be. You know, if I was just going to do a Pro Street project, if I hadn't taken this truck apart, I might consider go out and getting another vehicle to do this too. But this is what we have, so this is what we're going to work with. And you guys have been watching this truck all along, so let's see where it goes, right? Let's see what happens to the poor little S10. So even though I've decided to go Pro Street on it, I still have a vision of what I'm going to do, and it's not your typical just buy a back half kit, weld it in, and call it a day like everybody else does. So I'll talk more about that at length in another video. In this one I just wanted to show getting the bed off, cleaning up the garage, getting ready to go, and let you know that I made a decision. Now, that last 2 weeks I spent agonizing over what to do with the truck made me realize something. I don't put a lot of video up just talking about what I'm going to do. Most of my videos lately have been a lot of that, but I could literally talk for hours about why I'm not putting mid-engine in it, for instance, or what the advantages are doing it one way versus another. There's a ton of things we could talk about, the agony I've been going through trying to figure out what to do with it. We could talk about all that stuff. But I don't want to pollute this channel doing that. I got a lot of stuff to say, and I do a lot of things like clean the garage and things like that that you guys might want to see, but I don't want to pollute the channel with that. I want this to remain kind of a pure build channel, somewhere people can go to watch videos that they may be inspired by or learn something from, or you know, just enjoy watching someone build something, you know. So I want to keep the channel kind of pure in that respect, but I do want to have the information out there for those of you who want it, as far as where my thought process is, what the planning process is, you know, what kind of things we're having to lay us in the background, stuff like that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm considering starting up a second channel. I already opened a second channel. I already have the name of it, but I don't know if that's something you guys would be interested in or not, but I feel like it would help a lot with the background information on these builds, give you guys more information, keep you in the loop more, and I can release video a lot more often that way, because I'll just do a vlog style, tell you what's going on today, that kind of thing. And then when you want to see the actual build happen, then you go over to this channel, and there it is. So what do you guys think of that? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that, but I haven't committed to doing it yet, because then I'm committing to doing a bunch of video. And I really want to dive into this truck and get going. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to take that cab off of there. Got a couple things we still got to disconnect before that happens, but no big deal. Once the cab is off, then we can start looking at frame and decide what we're going to do first and how we're going to attack this thing. I guess that's our episode today. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.